The UFC is headed back to the Apex for a very good UFC Vegas 103 fight card, and we have a ton of options to make some money while watching our favorite sport. My favorite option is Underdog Fantasy. You come in here, you say higher or lower than any of the numbers on the screen, you slap a few of them together, and you can make a couple of bucks. If you don't know what Underdog Fantasy is, it's a ton of fun. It's super easy, and they will give you free money to play. The only thing you need to do is go to wewantpicks.com/underdog, use promo code WWP, and you'll have all sorts of free money. Then you take that free money and you build yourself a nice little entry, which I'm about to give you. That's wewantpicks.com/underdog, promo code WWP. We're going to focus very squarely on UFC Vegas 103, but if you look across the top, we've got every sport. A couple of video game sports, some boxing, all sorts of things. Supercross, that's a new one. The amount of sports is actually a little ridiculous, but we're going to focus on fighting. And let's go ahead and work our way down the slate here. There is a brand new feature that they have added, which I absolutely love. Underdog Fantasy already had the most diverse set of numbers that you could work with. And now they've even added flexibility where you can adjust the numbers. And I'll show you what I'm talking about in a minute. But the first thing we're going to do, we're going to go right off the rip with an multiplier. We're going to do Cody Brundage to win by finish, essentially. And listen, this fight is going to end by stoppage. Period. End of story. There's no way this goes to a decision. Cody Brundage comes out like a bat out of hell. And if he finds a finish, he finds a finish. If he doesn't, he'll get finished at some point. That's a Cody Brundage fight if I've ever seen one. But he's taking on Julian Marquez. Julian Marquez was just knocked out in his last two fights. He's getting a little chinny with age, looking a little softer than usual. And I think Cody Brundage is on the other side of that spectrum. While he's had a couple of crazy fights and some interesting circumstances, the guy can wrestle at a very high level. He's got insane power in his hands, and he comes out at 100%. If Julian Marquez was like this crazy, durable guy, it'd be a little different, but he's not. He was just knocked out twice. One of those knockouts was sub 1 minute. And I think Cody Brundage could do more of the same. Just come out here, bang it on his head, and find a finish. And the best part is we're going to get a multiplier on that, 1.23x. Now what we're going to do is the higher on fight minutes with Manel Kape. And we're just going to leave this alone. This is supposed to go to a decision. I expect it to go to a decision. Manel Kape was styling on Bruno Silva in his last fight, but the reality is he's mostly just a counter striker, waiting just one shot at a time, trying to stay technical. Almabayev is going to come forward, look to wrestle. There may be some success in the wrestling. There may be some success in the striking. Either way, I do think we end up with a decision here. And the last time Manel Kape fought a grappler, he was in a staring contest. So I do think we end up in a decision. So that's what the 24.99 fight minutes is. As I work my way down, we're going to go find William Gomez. Can't stand the guy. Think he's boring as hell, but I do think he wins this fight. And I think he will get past the 40.5 significant strikes. And that's kind of counter to his stats. This guy lands fewer than 3 significant strikes per minute because he's a counter striker. He takes his time. He stays on the outside. He's patient. But because of this matchup, I think Haider Amel, his opponent's going to come charging forward, throwing like crazy, and it's going to give William more opportunities than he normally has to land because he doesn't have to wait for his opponent to come to him. His opponent is definitely coming to him. So I think William Gomez is going to land a ton of counter strikes, stay safe, be busier than usual because of the style matchup. So I think he gets past the 40.5 significant strikes. And then the last thing we're going to do here is the Mario Pinto fight minutes. And we're going to do the lower. But to protect ourselves a little bit, right now the line is at 7.5 minutes. Let's go ahead and increase it. This is a brand new feature that they have added to Underdog Fantasy. We have fight minutes at 7.5. I'm going to increase this to 10 fight minutes. It's going to lower the payout a little bit, but don't forget, we just got a juiced payout on the Cody Brundage line, and now it's much safer. So I have moved it to 10 fight minutes. We're going to do the lower. So now we just basically bought ourselves another 2.5 minutes. If this ends in the first or the second round, then we're good. This is my entry. I already have it built. Let's go ahead and take a look. We have got Cody Brundage higher than a half a finish. William Gomez higher than 40.5 significant strikes. Mario Pinto, we're going to do lower on the 10 fight minutes. And then Manel Kape higher than 24.99 fight minutes. And you could adjust that line any way that you'd like. You can go ahead and you can leave it at the 7.5 fight minutes for Mario Pinto. You'll get an even money payout. You can raise it to 10 fight minutes, which I think is the safest play, but tons of options here, lots of flexibility. Underdog Fantasy is by far the best in this daily fantasy space because of the flexibility, because of the amount of options they have. Every fighter, as the week goes on, they add more and more lines, but as I mentioned in the past, that's a tricky balance because you want to hit the lines before they get out of control, but you also want to wait to see what other options are added. So it's kind of a healthy mix of patience, but also jumping when you see something there. If you like the entry I've built, spectacular. Go ahead and copy it. If you don't, that's fine. Just get your free money. WeWantPicks.com/underdog, promo code WW1.